Have you ever caught yourself staring out the window, maybe with a cup of tea in hand, wondering where the days have gone? You sit there thinking about the years that flew by, raising a family, working hard, taking care of everyone else. And now, things feel quieter, slower, sometimes a little too quiet. And in those moments, a question sneaks in, is this it? You're not alone in that feeling. It's something many people feel after 60. Life changes. The rhythm slows down. Friends move away. Loved ones pass. The body doesn't move quite like it used to. And some mornings, it's harder to find that spark you once had. But here's the thing. Just because things change doesn't mean joy has to fade. In fact, this chapter of life, yes, this one right now, can be just as rich, just as joyful, just as full of laughter, connection, and purpose as any other. Maybe even more. Today, we're going to talk about exactly that. How to keep that positive spirit alive and well after 60. Not with big, unrealistic changes, but with small shifts, real, doable habits that gently breathe life back into your days. Think of it as lighting little candles throughout your week. One by one, they begin to glow. So, grab that cup of tea, settle in, and let's talk about how to keep joy not just alive, but glowing brighter than ever. Let's start with something that might sound simple, but can truly change the way you experience every single day. Staying curious. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Curiosity? That's for kids. But curiosity doesn't belong only to the young. It belongs to the young at heart. And that's something no one can take from you, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. You see, the brain loves to learn. It craves it. And when we stop feeding it new things, new experiences, new ideas, new challenges, it starts to slow down, not just mentally, but emotionally too. Days begin to blur together. Moods feel flatter. Life loses a little color. But curiosity brings that color right back. You don't need to go out and get a college degree or climb a mountain to stay curious. Maybe it's as simple as trying a new recipe you've never made before, even if it turns out funny looking. Maybe it's learning to play a song on the piano, one you used to love but never learned. Or asking your grandchild to show you how to use that app they're always talking about. Every time you learn something new, even something tiny, you remind yourself, I'm still growing. And when you grow, you feel alive. I remember chatting with a woman named Joan, who picked up watercolor painting at 67. She hadn't touched a brush since high school. But one day, she saw a little ad at her library for a painting group, and she thought, why not? She said to me, it's not about being good at it. It's about waking up and feeling excited to do something. That's what painting gave back to me. That's the magic of curiosity. It brings excitement back into your day. Even if it's quiet excitement, the kind that whispers instead of shouts, it's still there, gently lifting your spirit. And speaking of spirits, that brings us to the second habit that helps you hold on to joy, nurturing connections with people who make you feel seen. As we get older, social circles tend to shrink. Some people move away. Others grow distant. And that's normal. But it doesn't mean we stop needing connection. In fact, the older we get, the more important those connections become. Not just for emotional health, but for physical health too. And no, I'm not talking about having dozens of friends or going to parties. What I mean is having just one or two people, maybe a neighbor, a friend, a cousin, even someone you met recently, who really listen when you speak, who laugh with you, who ask how you're doing and actually care about the answer. If you've ever had a long chat over coffee with someone who truly listens, you know the feeling. Your shoulders relax. You feel lighter. More whole. That's not an accident. That's human nature. We are wired for connection. Now, maybe you're thinking, but I don't have anyone like that nearby anymore. That's okay. Building those connections doesn't have to be hard. Sometimes it starts with a small step. Maybe it's attending a local club or group you've been curious about. Even if it's just once. Maybe it's calling someone you haven't spoken to in years and saying, I was just thinking about you. It can even be online. There are communities out there where people your age are forming new friendships every single day through forums, video chats, even virtual book clubs. The world is changing, and connection can happen in new ways. And if the idea of reaching out feels scary, like you might be a bother, Let me remind you, there are people out there who are hoping someone like you will reach out. You're not a bother. You're a blessing. Now, let's talk about something a little different. Something physical. Because yes, the spirit and the body are connected, and taking care of one always lifts the other. So here's the third little habit that can work wonders. Moving your body in a way that feels good. Not hard, not painful, but joyful. I'm not talking about jogging marathons or lifting weights the size of your TV. I'm talking about gentle movement that feels like a treat, not a chore. Maybe it's a 10-minute stretch in the morning while the kettle boils. Maybe it's dancing in the kitchen to that old song you love. Or a short walk with a friend, noticing the blossoms, the birds, the rhythm of your own breath. When we move our bodies, even just a little, we release chemicals in the brain that naturally lift our mood. It's like giving yourself a free dose of sunshine, even on cloudy days. There's something beautiful about movement after 60. It's less about performance and more about presence. You don't need to prove anything. You just get to enjoy how your body feels, how your heart beats a little faster, how your lungs open up. And afterward, you feel more alive, more awake. There's a man I once met, Richard, 74, who takes a 5-minute walk every morning, rain or shine. He calls it his daily reset. He told me, it's not about getting fit. It's about reminding myself that I'm still here, still moving forward. Isn't that lovely? That's what these habits do. They aren't just routines. They're quiet ways of reminding yourself, I'm still here. I still matter. Life still has things to offer me. So if lately you felt that spark starting to dim, know this. It's never too late to relight it. Whether it's curiosity, connection, or gentle movement, every day holds a new little invitation to joy. You just have to say yes to it. Let's take a moment to gently ease deeper into our conversation. Sometimes, it's as if the journey of joy asks us to slow down and listen closely to the quiet rhythms within ourselves. One of those rhythms is the steady beat of mindfulness, a practice that invites you to savor each breath, to really experience the present moment. Imagine, if you will, sitting comfortably in your favorite chair on a calm morning. The sun is softly streaming through your window, and the simple act of feeling the warmth on your face feels like a quiet reassurance that life, in all its ups and downs, is worth every precious moment. Mindfulness isn't about forcing your thoughts to vanish or achieving a state of perfection. Instead, it's about accepting things as they are and finding peace in the everyday. It might be as simple as taking a few deep breaths while looking at a cherished photograph or enjoying the gentle clink of a spoon against a teacup. In those serene moments, you might realize that joy is hidden in the ordinary. There's a profound beauty in acknowledging both the sunshine and the occasional rain in your life. And that brings us to another subtle yet powerful practice, gratitude. Reflecting on what you're thankful for doesn't mean ignoring challenges or difficulties. It means nurturing an outlook that finds strength in adversity. Picture a day when things didn't quite go as planned, instead of dwelling on what went wrong. Take a moment to appreciate the resilience that enabled you to get through it, the support of a friend who offered a kind word, or even just a small moment of clarity during a hectic day. It might seem like a small shift, but over time these moments of gratitude can gently transform your perspective. You start to notice the little sparks of beauty in each day, a melody in the wind, a smile from a stranger, a memory that brings warmth to your heart. These are not grand declarations. They are small, daily affirmations of life's quiet wonders. Another beautiful step in nurturing a joyful spirit is embracing and cultivating creativity. There's a common misconception that creativity belongs only to the young or to those who have always been artistic. But creativity can flourish at any age, and it doesn't have to take the form of painting or writing poetry unless you feel drawn to it. Maybe it's as simple as tinkering with a new recipe, planting a garden, or rearranging your living space to reflect a fresh outlook. For some, creativity turns into a delightful hobby that not only fills the day with purpose, but also opens up a channel for expressing emotions and ideas in ways that words often can't capture. I remember meeting someone named Helen, who at 70 began exploring the world of photography. She found that capturing the subtle hues of a sunset or the playful dance of shadows across a wall became a language through which she told her own story. Each snapshot was a moment of mindfulness, a piece of art that celebrated life's ever-changing scenery. Creativity like this doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks that you engage with your world, allowing yourself to experience its beauty through your own unique lens. As you explore mindfulness, gratitude, and creativity, you might also find that taking deliberate time to care for yourself becomes a comforting and essential habit. Self-care isn't something new or frivolous. It's an acknowledgement that you deserve the same kindness you so readily offer to others. Think back to those times when you've been there for friends, family, and even strangers. Now, imagine extending that same genuine care to yourself. That might mean setting aside a few quiet minutes each day to simply be with your thoughts, indulging in a long, soothing bath, or revisiting an old passion that makes you feel renewed. Self-care takes many forms, and its beauty lies in its simplicity. It's about recognizing that every moment of rest or indulgence is a silent nod to your intrinsic worth. In our journey toward a joyful spirit, another aspect that often gets overlooked is the embrace of both change and the passage of time. Many of us have been conditioned to view aging as a process of loss, a gradual fading of what once was. But what if we reframe that narrative? What if we see the stage of life as an evolution, a time of stepping into a new kind of wisdom and freedom? Rather than mourning what has slipped away, we can learn to celebrate the richness of the experiences that have filled our years. Each wrinkle, each silver strand, is like a chapter in a long and treasured story. With each passing day, you accumulate a library of lessons, memories, and insights that no younger person could ever truly understand. And there's immense joy in that. Accepting change also means recognizing and embracing the role of rest and relaxation. Life, after all, is not a race but a gentle journey of discovery. There's a graceful power in knowing when to push forward and when to take a step back. In our earlier busy years, many of us learned to value speed and productivity above all else. Now, however, there's a liberating quality in allowing yourself to slow down, to savor conversation, to notice the patterns of light and shadow in your world. When you let go of the pressure to constantly be on, you make space for a kind of playful curiosity, a reminder that life doesn't always have to be rushed. In those unhurried moments, joy often finds a way to bloom in the most unexpected corners of your day. It's important to think of these practices not as isolated tasks, but as a gentle symphony of habits that, together, nurture a more vibrant and joyful existence. You might find that on some days, your heart is light with gratitude, your mind is focused on the present, and your spirit sings with creative expression. On other days, it might feel like you're simply trying to find your footing in a world that seems to move too fast. And that's perfectly natural. The beauty of this journey is that it's uniquely yours. There are no strict rules, no rigid schedules. It's about finding what resonates with you, and then giving yourself permission to experience life, one gentle moment at a time. Consider, 2, the delight of sharing these discoveries with others. When you open up about the little joys you found, be it the quiet thrill of learning a new skill or the peaceful satisfaction of a well-spent moment, you invite others to join in. Sometimes, sharing isn't about offering advice or instruction, but about letting someone else know that they, too, deserve to see the beauty in the everyday. Conversations might spark where you least expect them. A comment in a quiet cafe, a heartfelt exchange in your community center, or a simple smile on a morning walk. These shared moments weave a subtle network of connection that enriches not only your life, but also those around you. In all of these reflections, the mindfulness that anchors you, the gratitude that expands your vision, the creativity that lets you see the world anew, and the self-care that honors your well-being, there's a common thread. It's a recognition that living a joyful life isn't about grand gestures or monumental changes. It's about embracing the small moments that, day by day, compose a life filled with meaning, warmth, and joy. It's about listening to your inner voice, that quiet companion who reminds you that even on challenging days, there's a reservoir of hope and happiness waiting to be tapped. As we continue on this journey together, consider taking a moment today to reflect on one small thing that has brought you joy, a song, a memory, a simple act of kindness. Let that moment serve as a gentle reminder that joy isn't something to be chased after desperately. It's something that finds you when you create the space for it. By nurturing these practices, You remind yourself that every day holds a potential for renewal, and that with each breath, you have the power to infuse your life with a sense of purpose and lightness. Take your time to let these thoughts settle in, like the quiet glow of sunset, warming your spirit and inspiring you to see the beauty of every new day. In embracing these practices wholeheartedly, you're not just surviving the passage of time, you're celebrating it, feeling every nuance of life, and making the most of every cherished moment. Sometimes life calls us to embrace a deeper sense of purpose, and in these moments, it helps to remind ourselves that every chapter, every experience, and every moment of joy builds a legacy that is uniquely our own. As you settle into this part of your life, consider what gives your heart a sense of meaning beyond the simple passage of days. For many, it might be the quiet satisfaction of a well-tended garden, a collection of memories neatly stored in family albums, or the rich conversations shared with loved ones that continue to warm the soul. There is beauty in recognizing that your life's journey, with its ups and downs, has woven together a tapestry that reflects not just your past, but also all the possibilities that lie ahead. One way to honor this journey is by finding ways to give back, a simple act of kindness that reinforces the belief that you are an integral part of a larger community. Volunteering, for instance, isn't about grand gestures or changing the world overnight. It's about spending a few hours with a community center, a local group, or even through informal acts of support among neighbors. Sometimes, the simple act of helping someone can spark a delightful warmth that reminds you of all the times you've been uplifted by the kindness of others. When you share your time, your wisdom, and your laughter, you create connections that brighten the lives of others and, in turn, elevate your own spirit. It's also important to remember that life can be as playful as it is reflective. Laughter, for example, is a precious tonic that not only lightens a heart, but also nurtures a body. Don't be afraid to seek out moments that make you chuckle, a funny movie, a witty conversation with a friend, or reminisce about a time when life surprised you in the most humorous way. Humor has the power to dissolve tension and remind us not to take everything so seriously. It's a gentle reminder that joy is found in the unexpected, in the lightness of a shared moment, and in knowing that every laugh is a small victory against the stresses of daily life. As you continue forward with an open heart, consider stepping outside more often, even if it's just to sit on your porch and watch the world pass by. Nature has a remarkable ability to soothe the mind. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, or even the stillness of a starlit night can become a silent meditation that reconnects you to the pulse of life. There's a profound simplicity in accepting nature's pace and finding comfort in its rhythms. It teaches us that time flows naturally, that change is part of life's gentle cycle, and that each moment holds a promise of peace. Finding ways to celebrate the everyday can be another source of lasting joy. Perhaps you have a cherished hobby, a craft you once set aside, music that stirs memories, or even a story that you love to revisit. When you indulge in these small pleasures, you honor every part of yourself. The past that has shaped you, the present that is waiting to be explored, and the future that promises more opportunities for delight. It might be as simple as dusting off that old record player, baking a favorite family recipe, or writing down your thoughts in a journal. Each of these acts is a reminder that creativity and passion are not confined by age. They flourish whenever you give them space to breathe. Along this journey of rediscovery and renewal, there's a graceful acceptance that not every day will be filled with sunshine. Some days might be clouded with the weight of memories or challenges that seem overwhelming. But even in these quieter moments, there is solace to be found in knowing that the ebb and flow of life is as natural as a tide. Embracing both the highs and the lows, the laughter and the tears, allows you to fully experience the richness of your life. It's about accepting that vulnerability is a strength, and that in every trial there's a chance to grow, to learn, and to discover a new facet of yourself. In our conversations about maintaining a positive spirit, the underlying message has always been one of gentle persistence. It is in these small, consistent moments, whether it's the way you greet the morning, the thoughtful note shared with a friend, or the smile exchanged with a stranger, that life's joy is quietly nurtured. Each of these actions, no matter how seemingly insignificant, builds upon itself over time, creating a reservoir of positivity that carries you through even the most challenging days. It is a reminder that happiness is not a destination, but a journey marked by the countless moments of connection, creativity, and kindness that we weave into our lives. There's also a deep comfort in reflecting on the wisdom you have gathered along the way. Every laugh line, every story told, and every cherished memory is a testament to a life well lived. This wisdom, accumulated over years of trials, triumphs, and tender moments, is something you have in abundance, a resource that enriches not just your own experience, but also illuminates the path for others who look up to you. Sharing these insights, whether through a heartfelt conversation or simply by living authentically, can be one of the most rewarding ways to maintain not just joy, but a profound sense of purpose. So, as you settle into this beautiful chapter of life, let your experiences guide you toward a future where joy is a constant companion. Embrace every laugh, every tear, and every whispered moment of contentment as part of the grand mosaic that is your life. Remember that every day is an opportunity, a chance to create new memories, foster unexpected connections, and celebrate the simple wonders that make life so incredibly rich. Thank you for joining me in this heartfelt conversation. May you continue to find joy in the little moments, embrace the beauty of each day, and know, deep in your heart, that the spirit of life remains vibrant regardless of the passage of time. Here's to cherishing every moment, to the promise of tomorrow, and to the warm, enduring light of a life well loved.